Hey, what's up everybody, it's KyFy. I'm glad you could be back. If you are new here, welcome. This is a KyFy theory and I am your host. Basically, I am here to showcase a one-of-a-kind beauty. It's a creation of mine called the Zin-Finity Board, and it is to be known as the masculine approach to tarot. So, what is the Zin-Finity Board? It is an elementally energetic grid that flows in a 21-part circuit, housing all aspects of the mind in a still life fashion. Anything that you can possibly think of is here, so it's up to us to make it clear. And we do that ethereally, so let's get with it. I have a good reading for you today because as you can see, you see these 5 shapes that's on here. So if you were interested in the title, you'll understand that this, if you read it, this is the Tesla read. Besides the fact that we're talking about Black Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, right? This is going to be a Tesla read. Now, what is that about? We know that he talked about if you unlock the secrets of vibration, frequency, and energy, you'll unlock the keys to you. So, Tesla talked about 369, right? And vibration, frequency, and energy, right? So this is a reading specifically on what he researched in general. And if you know me, if you know how I geek out on a lot of information in the spiritual world and also in the science that I was attracted to growing up, this is what came out of it basically. So let's keep going. So for vibration, we have this V shape right here. So it's a V going this way, right? That's vibration right here. It includes the throat chakra, chesed, which is the will, gebura, which is desire, and the throat chakra is da'at, right? On the light side of the third eye, right, we have hokmah, and on the dark side of the third eye is bina. So that entails the vibe. When it comes up to the frequency that he talks about, we put these inside, and then we get to the contents that are inside. You can say the ether, right? Or you can say the doors. Think of frequency as like you're tuning something, but is the door open or is it all the way open? Is it closed? That's the frequency, right? The more energy can come out, the less energy can come out. Is it being siphoned from you? That kind of thing. So this is where the frequency lies, right? Then we go from there, or the frequency entails the heart chakra, the solar plexus, your side, which is the sacral chakra, and the root chakra, which is Malkut, right? So Tiferet, holding that sack, your side, Malkut. So that's the frequency. And naturally, Ketha, which is the crown, and that's crown energy, right? So the energy goes as follows. This one goes here. This one goes here. This one goes here. And this one goes here. And this is the placement and the positions for energy. So in this triangle right here represents the soul energy or the world of emanation, right? That's where the soul energy comes from, right? Then next up is the world of creation, which is on this side, which is of the spirit, right? And this is that creative energy. Next up is the mind, which is Yatsira, and this is that formative energy, the world of formation. Then there is the world of manifestation, representing the physical energy. And lastly is where the source energy comes from. So the source is outside of everything, but in and around and everywhere at the same time. So source is outside of the influence right here, right? So if I did that correctly and you understood, that's vibration, frequency, and energy. And then we go back to the house, which is sound. and sound is very important. So basically, after those steps are done, it's way different than the readings that I was doing before. So it gets a little interactive for me. So sound is very important. Once you fix all the energies, as I did in my previous readings before, once it's all on suit, once all the energy of that 21 part circuit is handled, then a sound is produced, right? And that sound is mechanical. So think of the sound as music playing. So now that everything is set, now that the stage is set, now that we have everything figured out, then you can go about using the energies properly, or however you will, right? So that's vibration, frequency, energy, and sound. So without further ado, I'm gonna go about why these dice are here in the first place. These dice are numbered. So the maximum number that I can get in each round is 50. So these numbers may be important to you, but I found it cool that I was able to do it. So let's get the first number. Well, we're gonna start with 0, right? It's 11, 2, 8, 16, and 6. So what that means is, starting from Da'at to Tiferet to Hodanexak to Yesod and then to Malkut, we're gonna draw from the black deck, right? So give me a second to get these cards out real quick. So I almost messed up. I almost did frequency first, but I caught myself last second and just stared at it and said, wait a minute, right? So this is vibe. So first up with the vibe, we have in the throat chakra, which is, for me, it represents I know. So what do you know of this situation? This has to do with chariot energy. Now, chariot energy is water energy. Water is right here. So that means it can be anywhere over here or anywhere over here, right? So that means that this is off suit. It has to be fire or air, right? We're going to turn this to the side. So I did that so you can understand that what you know is a little bit off, even though that your chariot is a good energy, and it's my card, it's the Cancer card, right? Why I gotta be my card that's off first? That's my favorite card, come on. But look, it's off, and where you're going is misguided by the wrong information. So we gotta take a little step back. So let's get that, the chariot. Direction, control, and willpower. Now this is in the place of I know. What do you know? How could you believe that the experiences that you've acquired during your life is the only ones you need to go forward? This is what sharing experiences about with your friends and stuff like that. When they tell you what they go through, you don't have to go through it the same way, because you have a guide. And that can come through friendship, that can come through anything, right? So there is a very good importance. Well, there's a focus on you listening to what's around you. Or maybe you've gotten these hints. Maybe it's been all on your feed. Maybe the information's been thrown at you so much you can just almost guess what it is, right? Because it's been thrown at you. So it's an obvious thing that you have to kind of correct. So that's what is coming up right now. What you know is a little misguided, even though you're strong in that effort. So redirect it. A little added note, it's always good to listen. You have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, right? They always say that, but it's for a reason. Next up is Hokmah, which is the light side of the third eye, right? This is the 4 cups, and this is also off suit. This side must be earth or fire, right? So there's a lot going on with this board so far. Let's get the dark side down real quick. The dark side of the third eye is the hangman, and this is on suit. So this has to be water or air, and this is good. This is the first thing that came up that is on suit. So the vibe so far was off when it comes up to what you want and what you know. So you see how that kind of goes hand in hand. if you haven't had the right experiences to exactly know what you want, you'll be doing things prematurely, right? Jumping the gun, that kind of thing. So 4 of Cups, let me get it. Apathy, contemplation, and disconnectedness, right? Now, apathy is opposite of empathy, right? That's the inability to understand perspective. So, like I said before, maybe you have to take a deeper look at what these people are trying to tell you. You have friends that always tell you things. Oh, you should look at this because there's something about this that you should see. They love you. They've been your friend for a long time. You know, it could be a friend, it could be your partner, it could be anybody, right? But they've been there for a long time and telling you things for a long time for a reason. It's not for their own health. It's about you, and it doesn't benefit them. And that's how you know it's specifically just love. If it doesn't benefit them, they're telling you for you, right? Naturally, the things you go after aren't giving you the same kind of effect. So it's lackluster. So let's just say that 4th time that you went to the bar that month didn't give you the same hype as the first 2 times. Maybe you need to slow down, or maybe you need to find out why you do it in the first place and redirect, like I said before, your focus. So if you were looking for attention, find it in another way. Express your art in some kind of way. Everybody has some kind of art, something that they produce that is like no other person, and it might come in a different way. It don't have to just be, you know, pen and paper and colors and stuff like that. It can be how you work, your work ethic, what you do, what you create at the job. Like, it's many different things. That's creation. Creation is art, right? So yeah, moving on from there, in the dark side of the Bina, that's what you want. This is what you need, and you have what you need, but you're misguided, right? So this is what it's telling me. If this is making sense, it's because this board is designed to hit those points of perspective. These are the first 5 perspectives of your mind. There's 10, right? And these are the first 5 I'm pointing out. So it's I know, I want, I need, I will, and I desire. Then the next ones that's coming up. In the crown, we have I be, right? Then I love, T for that, the heart chakra. I do, holding that sac, the solar plexus. I feel, your side, the sacral chakra. And Malkut, the root chakra, which is I am, right? So those are 10 perspectives in your mind, and they don't overlap, and they hold all types of persuasion, types of perspectives that you can have. Anything that you want is in these spaces. So that's the beauty of this board, right? And then next up is the energy, but I'm gonna get into it. So let's get the Hangman. Sacrifice, relief, and martyrdom. Now, martyrdom is always funny. So that's willing to be the one that's teased first, willing to be the one that's judged first about that new venture, willing to be the one to step outside of the box and do something different before it becomes a wave and a vibe and things like that. Willing to be the one, and you see from that different perspective. So you're willing already, right? You have that view, you have that dream. The dream is aligned, right? You have an idea of what that dream is, but the fantasy is off. So fantasy is created from the ego. The dream is created from the spirit. So moving on, we have in the wheel, we have the 7 of Pentacles in its own suit. And we have the 9 of Wands in desire, which is off suit. So a lot of times what you're good at is something that might seem boring to you. Why that's coming out. It might seem boring to you. So you fight it. But there's something super special about it that helps other people. And it's not about you, because you were sent here to do something. Now, what if that boring thing that you can get done so quickly can help somebody? What if it can help somebody, right? And what do I mean by that? When you help somebody, you give them their time back in the future, right? And you heal and unload that baggage that they had in the past. That's what happens when you help people, right? Those are the 2 things that happen in many different domains, right? It just happens just like that. So in the wheel with the Seven of Pentacles, you are not hesitant. You are not unable. You can. There's nothing that you find that you can't do when it comes to what you're looking for. But the reason why you won't do what you're born to do is because of that boringness, that fear, or something like that. Because, okay, everybody remembers Miss Cleo Called Me Now. I was one of the people that said, yeah, I don't know what that is, but I'm going to stay away from it. Plus, it sounds like black magic, and I believe in God, Jesus Christ, right? So, that's where I was. And I was hesitant in coming into this because I said, you know what? There was a time that I realized all of the shenanigans that went on when it comes up with the Bible in general. So the book that I loved so much wasn't even the first one. So how many times was it edited? What was it before? What did I learn? Did I learn a lie? So I had to face that within myself. So that's a solo journey. So if that resonated with you and that's something that you're going through, you're not alone. There are millions of people rethinking what their beliefs are because their beliefs stopped them. So if your beliefs is stopping you from going into that effort. So if, I took God and ran straight towards everything that sounded scary. What I mean by that is, or I didn't run towards it. If it came towards me, meaning like in my feed, right? If it came towards me in my feed, I would sit there and listen. Oh, this sounds scary as hell. It sounds like a lot to deal with, right? It sounds like a lot. But I would sit there and listen and don't let it like take over me in a sense, right? I will allow the information to flow like, oh. And then when I got used to it, I said, okay, this is this, and then this is this, and then this is this, and then this board came to be. And that's how I got here. So not being afraid of going after it brought me to here and in front of you. And I like to help people. So I found a cool way to do it. So one reason why I'm making this board, one reason why I'm advertising it like this is because it's going to be an app for everybody and all readers, not just me. This is something to be shared. This is something that's discovered. This is something that was a straight download for years, and I finally created it, and I'm not going to keep it to myself. So the app is going to be basically all the readers able to go through all of the information I've gathered over the years and able to use it as a tool. So this is going to be a tool for all readers. Imagine your favorite reader talking about this. And I'm going to have many different reading styles, plus the ones we already know. So it's going to be crazy. Like, share, subscribe, share it with your favorite reader. You know, shout them out. Tell them to shout me out. You know, shout them out on their page. If it gets that link, then I can get this to you faster. You never know. Well, moving on from there, let's go to the seven of Pentacles. So this is hard work, perseverance, and diligence. Now, discipline and diligence go hand in hand, but they're not the same, right? You know, you can have the discipline to keep away from something, but diligence is a little bit, it gives me more of an effort, right? Discipline is for the self. I don't know, for some reason I had to say that. But the hard work comes easy to you, and that's not something that you stray away from. Now, I had to express that clearly. Now it's not. So the people who knew you to stray away from those things don't know who you are now. Maybe you have to speak up. Maybe you have to tell them that you've changed. Maybe sometimes the little innuendos aren't enough. Maybe sometimes you have to say something to get past that ignorant barrier, or at least the one that they won't cross. You have to cross first. So next up is the Nine of Wands. Let me get it. That was in the wheel. So, and desire is the 9 of Wands. So, resilience, grit, and taking the last stand, right? Now, why is this off? That's good things. Oh, taking the last stand. You know, this is the last time I'm going to do this. Or, that's a good thing now. This is the last time I'm going to hide away from who I am. This is the last time I'm going to do it. It's only going to happen one more time, I promise, because I need to make sure that my fantasy isn't real and my dream was real the whole time. I need to make sure. And that's okay, because God knows who you are. You need to make sure. You need to make absolutely sure, and that's cool. And that's with the ego. And the ego does all of the deliberation. So that's that. Alright, so I'm going to draw the next set of numbers, and this is going to be for the frequency, right? So give me a few seconds. 1, 2, 8, 3, 10. Alright, so let me shuffle real quick. Alright, so we're going to start with fire. And we're going to go from fire, air, water, earth. And then this is the one for ether, but this is the reason I left it for the crown. So maybe I should do it first. So ether, fire, air, water, earth, right? Let's do it that way. So let's go 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1. 2, 10, 3. So the numbers in order was 8, 1, 2, 10, and then 3, right? So let's start off with what actually crowns the reading in your frequency. And this is the 9 of Swords. This energy doesn't have to be anything because it's in the balance of everything. It can be whatever it is. So this is your essential being, who you're going to be at the beginning and the end of every day, right? So this is the 9 of Swords. It doesn't seem pretty, so let's see what it says. So the reason why this is strong for me, because it says anxiety, hopelessness, and trauma. Anxiety brings stress, and the reason why I'm thinking it's good is because of something called piezoelectric energy. Now, in your crown chakra, right, when you apply stress to crystals, those dielectric crystals, I think I'm saying it correctly, but in your crown chakra, when the anxiety and the stress is put on it, then honestly the energy comes out. So it's causing something to power up, going through this trauma, going through that baggage, learning the lessons. It's all for a greater purpose, so don't think it's for nothing. The more pressure you are able to apply on yourself. See, the thing is, God's going to apply that pressure, or you can. You apply that pressure on yourself, it happens within your own means. And you can say, I did this and I failed and I. You can take accountability. If you let God handle it, it happens to you. And then you can also take accountability, or you can just, sit there and just be mad. Go your own way. Don't let God do it, because God gonna do it. You have a chance. You have as many chances until it's done. And it's always going to be done right on time. Perfect timing. So work with it, right? So that's in your being. I be. Next up was your solar plexus, right? Which is holding that sack, which is the 7 of cups. This is water, and this is the place of fire. So this is naturally off suit. And that's a problem. So you can do everything, but your emotions stopping you from doing anything. So that's a frustrating place to be. Whoa. I just had to put some eye drops on because I was about to die out here. But they don't want me to get this message out. I forgot what I was saying. But yeah, 7 of cups. You're blocked by your emotions. Thank you. But the thing is, this is the 7 of pentacles. What you can do can stop these emotions from being a problem. So these balance each other out automatically. So what you can do, what you're thinking of doing, what you have access to do, can stop these emotions. So they fill each hole in a sense. And now you have at least something dry to plant seeds in, you know? Now you can create new habits, new patterns, new thought processes. You're willing to get rid of the old programming. So next up is the heart chakra, which is the Fool, and this is perfect. Air energy on the heart chakra. So let me get the 7 of cups real quick. This is searching for purpose, choices, and daydreaming. Because your emotions, I forgot to even look it up, because your emotions are in the way, you can see what's happening. Daydreaming is stagnancy, but it also gives you ideas. So maybe you had to go through a process of figuring it all out so the ideas can come to you. Because when you're able to go forward, when you level up, things come towards you because you can handle it. So moving on from there was the Fool in the heart chakra, and this is on suit. Let's get it. Innocence, new beginnings, wonder, and foolishness. Now, the reason why this is beautiful being here, imagine you a big, dunce, ignorant bully when it comes up to the new life that you want to achieve. Then no matter what, it won't be in my way. I promise you, kind of energy. That's what you stand on now. And that keeps people away from you. It pushes people away from you. So if you understand that people aren't around you right now, not even on no bad blood, but just people aren't around you, is because if this was the old world, we would go on hunting parties and be away for years, and wars, we would be away for years, and we would come back, we would go to school and be away from years, away from all our village, our tribe, our friends that we grew up with. There are times that we can't be around the same people. We have to have influence from other people so we can learn new things. Other people have been through more things. You can't keep learning the same lessons from the same people. God brought us trillions of people to learn from, right? So it's getting filtered out for that purpose. Next up is the star in the sacral chakra, and it's supposed to be water, but it isn't. But it has water in it, so I almost want to count it, right? But this is your mind stopping your emotions from flowing. So let's see. Hope, faith, and rejuvenation. I don't know if this was the epiphany or not, but I didn't feel right about hope. Hope is, I want to say, pointless, but safe. Hope is like home base, right? God got you. You gonna live. But you can't just hold hope and not do anything. So you're holding back the flow because of your hope. I know that's a strange way to say that, but somebody needed to hear it. And this is how you feel. I didn't say it. This is how you feel. And the Fool was what you love. So Yeah. Next up was the Six of Swords, and this is also offsuit, and this is in the Earth Chakra, Malkut. Right? The root chakra. I said Earth. So let's see. Transition, leaving behind, and moving on. Now, the reason why air doesn't work in this area, because this is the place of mana and manifestations and things that are tangible. If you decide to move on from the thing that is tangible, you're not taking anything with you that you can use. You're just taking your problems and deciding to just go over your problems again. Oh, I don't think I'm done with these problems, so let me go over it again. You have to learn how to trust yourself, because if you could defend yourself from another person saying anything bad about you, you can trust yourself. That's the same energy. So just focus that inwards and literally talk back to yourself, the one that's constantly talking you down. So it's within us all at the same time. I hope that made sense, because I tried. Okay, so those were the frequencies at play, and I'm gonna move on to the energies at play. The energies are in the domains. The first domain is the world of emanation, and that's of fire, imagination. The world of creation, right? And this is where the spirit is, right? The world of formation, which is where the mind is, Yatsira. That's Beriya, Yatsira. And this is, what is it? Atsaluth? Yeah. Yeah. And the world of manifestation, the physical world, is Asiya, right? And that's where the body is. So let's get another set, a round of cards, and these are going to be oracle cards, because oracles, I believe, are the ones that bring us that good energy. So that's why they are always my energy cards. So let's start. See, I got one again. So that's the world of emanation, the world of creation, the mind, which is the world of formation. Okay. And 6 for physical, which is the world of manifestation. And I forgot one by mistake. You know, this is the source energy, right? The why of the situation. So this is who in the world of fire, what in the world of the physical, when is in the world of formation, the mind, right? Where is in the spirit, right? And why is source. So we're going to talk about source with the number, and that's another 7. Oh my God. I literally just rolled 3 7s. It's somebody's luck. Okay. 3 7s, 4 7s, 5 7s. There are 5 7s here already. Alright, so these are my oracle cards. I'm going to shuffle them real quick. And this is about the energy at play. So the energy, you have lucky energy around you. Oof. I don't even know what to say right now, because who expects that to happen? I'm blown away. So, which one is first? The world of emanation is first, and it says it's going to be the first card. So, we're going to put this down right here. 1, and then 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for the world of creation, which is the water. Next is the mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this one is the body, so I might have to do it first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And for source, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I reorganized it a little bit so you can see it fully. I'm still kind of shocked by the fact that I got all these 7s on the board. I don't know what's going on, and this is all by chance. You see what's happening. So in the world of emanation, we have affluence, right? In the world of creation, we have the new moon. In the world of the formation, we have death. And the world of manifestation, we have divinity. And as for the source energy, why, we have nature spirit. So who is affluence? What is divinity? When is a function of death? We're going to talk about that. Where has to do with the new moon energy, and why has to do with nature spirits. So this is who, what, when, where, and why of the situation. You have all of the perspectives to know. Now you're going to get all of the energies that are at play, right? So first up is affluence. Wealth in all forms is available to you now. You are rich on all accounts. Drawing this card invites you to feel the abundant flow of having all that you need on the material and spiritual planes. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this is certainly indicates that there is much to be experienced here. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. You are being provided for and rewarded for at this time. Now, this has to do with what comes out of your imagination. So those bright ideas that you are getting right now, the ears that are clogging out, the sounds that you are hearing, the things that you are seeing on the corner of your eye, the random things, the signs, the itches, these are all signs. And what you're thinking about at that time, what can help you, what comes out of those signs are very important right now. So write them down or something like that. If you're not a person that needs to write it down, act on it immediately, because that's what's for you. Your spirit is trying to speak to you. Spirit can't do anything but energetic things. So just imagine how frustrating that is. You can't just say, hey, do this and do that and do that. It's more like hot, 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 hot. Cold, 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 cold. Imagine that. And that's all you got to work with when it comes up to us. Hate, 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 hate. Love, 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 love. Annoyed, 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 annoyed. Hopeful, 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 hopeful. That's all that spirit does. And other things too, but that's a mundane way to put it. But that's how spirit communicates. That's one way, right? But that's affluence. Next up is new moon. And there is a new moon right now. So I think it's in Gemini. A new beginning, a fresh start, and an auspicious time to start new projects. Naturally, because you're getting all these ideas, right? And these are pinnacles. This is the big old pinnacle, right? It's going to land. It's going to surface. It's going to grow. It has no choice, right? That's how strong these ideas are. That's how divinely guided it is. And it's going straight to divinity. So, drawing this card, where am I? Drawing this card invites you to begin again. Meditate on this at the new moon and bring a new energy into your life. Write a list of intentions, dreams, goals, and wishes to support the new direction and invite in inspiration. So I kind of just went off on it to get the download out, I guess. So I don't really need to say much more about that. But this has to do with when. So this is the time factor. When you put these to play, when you put these ideas to play, then it can start to go about its process to coming back to you, right? It doesn't get back to you if you don't start it. And if it does get to you when you don't start it, you better do it, because that's a blessing. Imagine that you didn't even have to start something to get the blessing to continue it. Imagine you just said, okay, I need this, I need this, I need this. And then you got it all the next day. And then you were kind of ungrateful. You better be on it. When you hear these things, get on it, because it's a reason. Next up is death, and this is in the mind, right? The death card, right, has to do with what's on the veil. The veil has to do with the ether and the soul, the fact that we can't see past it, but we know it's there, but uncovering the belief that it is there unveils, you know, all the deception that's around you. I hope that made sense, because I don't think I explained that correctly, but you know. So death, the noticeable end of a cycle or situation, grieving or mourning a loss in order to heal. It is time to watch the old way leave itself in the past. Allow feelings of grief or sadness to move through you with ease. Meditate on this when you want to honor an ending, a loss, or letting go in your life with grace. Without death, there is no life, and vice versa. So, if you don't let go, you can never grab on to at least what you're even talking about, because your ego says what you've been through has to be handled, and that's it, and that's final. What God says is you've learned enough so you can just move on. So imagine that. Imagine there was a debate that you were having for years, and that's kind of what it feels like to be in any kind of relationship. You're wrong, or you're wrong, or I'm wrong. Which one is it? And when we finally get to that conclusion, then we can move on. That's kind of what it feels like for some reason. I don't know, when it's toxic. But yeah, but if you would give that up, what would come out of it? What would you do? What would you be able to do? Okay, since you gave that up, you're able to see the person doing something different from when that mark was made. Now you can see the person in their new light. That's one thing that can happen. Or, you know, you'll have the energy to move on because you let go of having to have that justice, and instead going for the justice within. And that is when, right? When you apply these things. So divinity has to do with what this is all about, right? To put some location in your mind, like an indicator. And this has to do with your divinity. Divinity is 7 pointed, so it has to do with your chakras in general. So it has to do with your alignment and what you're here to do. This is known as the physical body, right? But you are a tool. You are a temple of God. You can do things other than what you're thinking of right now that you might be born to do. Some people don't know their calling until it's time, and we never know that time. So your divinity comes at play. You are divine, and this message comes with a warning and a blessing. Drawing this card invites you to proceed with love over fear. No matter what your situation or relation, proceed only from a place of unconditional love, reverence, and understanding. Life is filled with choices. Make sure they are the ones that respect all involved, including yourself. Meditate on this symbol when you want to connect with the unseen elemental beings for support. So, unseen elemental beings is what we're talking about right now. And that's the mind, the body, the mind is, more things are conscious than we know, and they all have a mind. So when I say mind, it's the mind of those things. So it can be a conscious entity, it can be a spiritual entity, right? You know what I mean? It doesn't have to just be people. The more you learn about where you are and who you are, the bigger your world is, and also the scarier it is. So don't think that you're not prepared to face that. So just move forward. And lastly is why, and this has to do with the nature spirits. So I just want to say something. This is 36 and this is 39. So 369 came up, right? 369 came up while I'm talking about Tesla. So we're aligned right now. This is a line for you to hear. I love messages like that, because that's how God talks to me, and I just stop and listen and do whatever. See, I'm willing to let you hear it because I just gave an example about it. So that's how it happens for me. How does it happen for you? And it might has to do with the nature spirits. Elemental fairies, devas, and other nature spirits request your presence. It is time to venture outside. Get into nature and recharge your batteries with the trees, the grass, the mountains, the desert, and the sea. There is a magic that awaits you when you commune with nature. Now, think of yourself as a battery, and when you go and touch natural energetic things, the energy is siphoned from that energetic thing into you. So there's more in the earth than is in you, so it's gonna go into you. It's abundant, it's almost everlasting, right? It is everlasting. So this is why we get that energy when we put our feet in the grass, when we touch the tree, when we hold the crystals, when we do this, when we do that. There are ways to connect to the energies to power yourself. Now, I like to call it cheating, because you can cheat the matrix, you can cheat the system. If you align yourself, if you put all the crystals around you that has to do with all of the chakras, something good is going to happen, because that energy is great around you. It just is. And you didn't even do anything but put crystals into place, right? You didn't do anything but put a crystal around your neck. Next thing you know, you found $5 on the floor. Next thing you know, you got in line earlier than the whole crowd that came 2 seconds later. Just little things, right? You never see it. You never know it until it happens. You're like, oh wow, thank God. Make sure you acknowledge what Spirit does for you too, because this way Spirit knows, it's a relationship. Do you think your spirit is conscious outside of you, or do you think you control your spirit? Because the you that I'm talking to, that's hearing me right now, is just the senses, and that happens within the mind, right? That's just registering. But the spirit is somewhere else. Your body's here, and your soul is also somewhere else. We can understand the spirit more than we can understand the soul, because spirit is about energy, and we can see the energies moving around, right? And we can feel the energies. Alright, so let me fix this real quick. Alright, so now that we have the vibration, the frequency, and the energy at play, we're going to align the energies that are off from the crown chakra to the root chakra, right? And then we'll achieve what we need for sound. Now, after the energy is flowing correctly, then you can produce that sound. I hope that makes sense, because this is a new style. It's my first time doing it. I hope you can enjoy it. I hope you are enjoying it. And if you are, give it a like, a share, subscribe to the channel, and I'm gonna move forward. So I'm not using these black cards. I'm using more these white cards. So give me a moment to get these cards down. So let me go down the line real quick so you understand, kind of readjust what I'm about to do right now. At Da'at, we have a card that's off suit. It's water, and it's supposed to be fire or air. It's off suit. The energy of what you know is off, right? Then it comes up to what you're being. At the beginning and the end of every day, you will be able to deal with this karma and get through it. That's who you are. You are a person who likes to get through it, because you are you're an achiever, right? Then we have another energy that's off when it comes up to your wants, right? Your wants are basically your cursor. So in any first person shooter, you see where the gun is aiming. That's your cursor. That's where you're gonna win. That's one. You won something. You're gonna win something soon. That's where you run. And as long as it's pointed in the right direction, which is not in the right direction right now, you're going off. You're veering off the road. You took a wrong turn, and you decided to stay still. Moving on from there, the hangman is on suit, so we already talked about that. The next energy that was off suit was this. This is on suit, sorry. The next energy that was off suit is the 9 of Wands, and this has to do with desire, alright? Then it was the Fool on suit at the heart chakra. Your solar plexus is off suit because it needed to be fire, but it's water, alright? Then it's off suit at your side, your sacral chakra, because this is supposed to be water, and it's air. You're too much in your mind. Then it's also offsuit at the root chakra, which is the place of I am. Naturally, the sacral chakra is I feel, and the root chakra is I am, right? Those are the energies I'm going to correct right now. So when I do that, as you can imagine it, from the crown to the root, there's no blockages. So let's get these blockages out right about now. Alright, so what does this mean? The more cards I pull on any place that needed to be on suit, that I needed to fix and correct, the more time and energy required to fix it. So I only do 3, 3 strikes you're out kind of thing. So when it came up to your knowing, there's not much work that needs to be done because the 4 of Wands came out. So let's get this energy first. Let's just go in order so you can understand it. So your knowing started off with the Chariot, and that's direction, control, and willpower. It's not much flow, it's more control. So went from there to soul kind of activation, I want to say. So 4 of Wands, community, home, and celebration. What makes you feel at home? You found the place that you want to be in the future. You found the place and the things that make you happy. You found it. It's a feeling of excitement. I listened to something recently, and the guy said, you probably know who he is. He doesn't open his eyes when he does his speeches. He doesn't open his eyes, right? Him. He said, you're supposed to go towards what gives you the greatest feeling of excitement. That's what you're supposed to do. And regardless of any consequences. That's what he said. So that message is for you. And that's what corrected that energy. Going after what you love. Those ideas that bring you what you love. Don't put your mind on it so soon. Don't allow yourself to overthink it. So from there, the next energy that was off is Hokmah, which is the light part of the third eye. And went from the 4 of Cups, which is apathy, contemplation, into disconnectedness, right? I talked about that apathy, the unable to even understand yourself, just doing things because you've been taught it, right? It's the programming that's crazy. Then it went to the Death card, which is crazy because this is in alignment with what you need to do. You have to cut all of that out. And this is the end of cycle, change, and metamorphosis. Metamorphosis is good because that's going into a cocoon, and then you're going to be something better afterwards. Not necessarily a butterfly, but you know how it is. And went from there to the 5 of Swords, which is unbridled ambition, winning at all costs, and sneakiness. Now, if you are living your dream, I don't think that's a sneak. I think you are walking tall and everybody sees you living your dream. If they are even in your presence, you know what I mean? It's not something that you shy about, really. So, if it's something that you feel like you need to hide, or if it's, like I said before, this is something that you didn't believe before because it was boring or weird or awkward or it sounded scary or whatever, you shy away from it. And you know that now. So what is it about what you did that, how can you change it up to make it more comfortable? And it went from there to the 6 of Cups, and that did not complete the energy. So this is emotional journey. But this is an energetic journey too, because using all of this right here, using what you didn't quite get over yet, it's almost like my first pastor, she said lessons are repeated until they are learned, right? That was one of the themes in my church. So the cycle, if you don't understand it, it's gonna be put back in front of you so you can understand it. You're gonna go back through the same things in different ways. It's always gonna translate the same way until you understand it, because God has a job for you, and until you are ready to hold this gift, you won't get it. And I know that sucks, but there are other things you can do. But we're talking about the greatest thing right now. So the next energy that was off was desire. And this is I desire. What do you desire? It started off with the 9 of Wands, which is resilience, grit, and taking the last stand. It's kind of the same theme that's going on. At all costs, taking the last stand, the final push, right? That's what you desire, the final push, for it to be over, or at least the cycle done. And from there to the strength card, and this is a fire energy, and it shouldn't be here. Fire should be on this side. So this has to do with your ego, but this is required because it ended off with the Ace of Cups, which is good, right? So let's go to the strength. Bravery, compassion, focus, and inner strength. This is why it's over here. And the crazy thing about strength, if you know me, if you know this board, strength holds up your manifestations. So the stronger you are, that's the strength. You manifest things, you nurture things. In a sense, you plant seeds within yourself. And the land that you occupy that grows these seeds into trees, you hold up with your strength. So the more strength you have, the more dirt you have to plant, right? And also, is that dirt good? That also goes into strength too. And then it goes to the Ace of Cups, which clears this energy. So new feelings, spirituality, and intuition. Now, it's brave to go after what scares you at first in your mind, because what's directly for you, of course, you know how you have negative and positive entities. They're gonna throw all types of energies at you, like, oh, this is not fear, 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 don't go here, don't go here, oh, this is bad, warning, 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 a whole bunch of buzzer sounds, just because you're following what God asked you to do. But that's all noise. For some reason right now, I realized I didn't even talk about the black mirror, but this moon looked like one just now. So what is it about that black mirror? Anything that can be reflected back at you to hurt you will be reflected back at you to hurt you. So that means that there's some energy that you haven't tamed and controlled that can come out of you or anybody else that can hurt you, or at least show you exactly what the problem is. So not that spirit is speaking to you, but the situation and what's happening, somebody else's spirit can be speaking to you. Say, you know, spirits talk, you know, in my opinion, I think they do, but we just don't hear the conversation. And if my spirit tells your spirit to say this when we're in the heat of argument, you're gonna say it, and it's gonna cause me to have an epiphany that says, okay, this is why this is happening. So yeah. Next up in the line is the sacral, the solar plexus. And it started off with the 7 of Cups. I talked about that before, and it's balanced out what you will do, right? It's just, you got to be willing. You got to be willing to let go. That was the thing. And went from there to the 2 of Cups. Unity, partnership, and connection. So this is water energy. Is not as much as before, but this unity right here is structured. So it's a motion for a purpose, and it's balanced. Even though it's high energetic, maybe you're having, instead of having arguments, you're having heated debates. You understand what I mean? And that's completely different than argument. You understand between the two that there's a goal, right? And that's the difference between what's happening right now. It was out of whack. Now there's a goal with the emotion that you express. Then it goes to the 7 of Pentacles again. So the 7 of Pentacles is right here in your will. Then it came right here. Although this is not on suit, it's telling me that waiting isn't an option anymore. Planning is the only option. So it didn't complete because this is earth energy. But like I said, I only do 3. So it ended off with the world card. And it's a fulfillment, harmony, and completion. Now, these are the things that you fantasized about that are now becoming clutter. And that's a easy as it sounds fix to get rid of some things that you don't need. You absolutely don't need it, and you know it. It's almost like on your phone when it says 6 unused apps. We're gonna put that with them dormant. Like, we're gonna turn those apps in dormant. Like, we're gonna turn those off. You don't need them anymore. But it's still on your phone, and it's taking your new memory, right? And now you can't download that new app because you have no space. So that's the analogy that's coming in right now. Getting rid of some things is giving the space for new, but these are the things that you really cherished and things that were a part of you. But if you're willing to at least think about letting it go, you'll understand why. Yeah. And went from there to I feel, which is, it started off with the star, and that was hope, faith, and rejuvenation. I talked about the hope, how it's a little false and only stagnant. It keeps you safe. You get to live, but at just the bottom, right? You live at the bottom with only hope. Hope leaves you at the bottom, but you're still safe. And it's just like, that's also a safety net. Because at the end of the day, if you have nothing else but hope, you'll still be safe. God sees you. You know what I mean? God knows that you need help. But we all come here to learn lessons. So it's almost like, hurry up and learn the lesson so the blessing can come. So you can get out of your own way. And went from there to the devil reversed. And that's freedom, release, restoring control. Now, this was too much control. A plate in over here somewhere. I think it was over here. It was too much control over here. And when you see the devil right here, your temptations are under control, or at least get your temptations under control. You acknowledge that there are some things that you have to at least dial down, dial back on. You know what I mean? You recognize those things, and that's good. That's a good place to be. And then the justice, I mentioned justice before. It was a false sense of justice, though. It was something that you wouldn't let go because you needed that justice. Like, you're owed it, and you're actually right. You could be right about the situation, but because you're right, it's holding you back because you're not letting go. That's crazy. Being right can hold you back. So it ended off, well, it didn't fix the energy, but it ended off with the Knight of Swords. Action, impulsiveness, and defending beliefs. Now, it has to do with the world right here. You believe that some of these things were for you, so how could you really hear from God that it's time to give it up now? Like, what are you talking about? You convinced me that this was for me. You showed me it was hype. I was completely sure. I was adamant, and I prayed about it. I did all of this, and now you're gonna say give it up. This can go for a lot of things, and that doesn't have to be people. And you're going to war with your mind about it. But where your mind is, well, the energy for your mind is under the Fool. But what's going on, what's in your way, is a lot. So you have to be willing, like I said before, to be that big bully for your self-development. A bully. You have to be a bully for your self-development. That's the only way it's gonna work. Well, that's what I'm called to say right now. But only way in God, there's not no only way. There's millions of ways. God can just choose one. So, now that I clarified most of the energy, it's not all the way on suit, all down the board, but you have an idea of what needs to be balanced. So there is a sense of balance here. So now that there's a sense of balance, I can move on to, it's known as the star stream, right? But it's basically the music that happens after you balance, the life forward, what you can do, how you can tune this, how you can tune that, what you can experiment with, what you can express, what you can integrate into your life, and how you can transcend. And this is how you ascend, right? So you experiment, you express, you integrate, you transcend, and then ascend. So this is all leveling up, and this can happen indefinitely. So I'm about to tell you some things using oracle cards that you can do on that venture. So let's start with it. You can experiment with safe travel. You can express truth. You can integrate water. You can integrate your emotion in what you do. You can use that to fuel it instead of it keeping you down. So, oh, this makes me feel frustrated, and then I work out. You see how that benefits you? That's just one example that many people do, and this is what you already know. So what other things can you do? There are outlets that you can choose from. In transcendence, you have growth. So learning how to do better in what you're already comfortable with. So let's just say if you cook once a week, growth would say you cook twice a week. Now there's twice the amount of money you save, and that you have an extra day of savings with food. You understand what I mean? So the little bits of growth here and there. And the last card of the reading, almost bent off, is transformation. So death, and transformation. That's crazy. So first up is safe travel in the place of experimentation. Alright, so a trip, a journey, or even a simple change of scenery is upon you. Meditate on this before you start a new adventure. Move to a new home or take a trip. Now, I have an axis of, there's knowing at the top. I hope you see this. There's knowing at the top. There's belief at the bottom. There's fears, and then there's faith right here. Your fears lead you to do crazy things, some things that you might not do. But because you were brought into that situation, it gave you potential. And then potential and belief. Okay, I believe I went through this for some reason. So the energy goes around in a circle like this. And it's about safe travel. So safety and learning. You can learn safely. Like I said before, you can choose to do the thing before God does the thing for you and put you through it. You can choose the way you train being like disciplined. You can choose it. Yeah. Next up in expression is truth. And let me get it. A great truth will come to light. A secret will be revealed. Your feelings regarding the situation you are asking about are true. Stand by your personal truth no matter what, and you will be rewarded. This is the time to let your authentic self shine. You have much to express. Your voice is needed. Meditate on this when you want more authenticity in your life or want clarity regarding a person or a situation. See, truth is concrete, and it allows things to flow. So the energy is pent up. Imagine, well, naturally you already got that in your mind, so we're the same. So naturally when you have that pent up energy, the truth is only certain things can actually fix it. And you already know what it is. So lead with your truth when it comes to your emotions. Like, truth is an open door, or truth is the key that opens the door, allowing the energy through. Alright, next up is integration, which is water. Emotions, receptivity, and connection to bodies of water. Drawing this card as a symbol of connecting to your emotions regarding your question or situation. Allow yourself to be open to any changes of direction and let the element of water guide you in the right direction. I was literally talking about the water and the truth and stuff like that, so this is kind of going hand in hand. Meditate with this symbol by a body of water in the bath or with a vessel of water to help keep the emotions pure and to assist you in being more flexible. Now, for some reason, praying is real, and Dr. Yakamoto something, the person who studied water and what frequencies do to water, what words and energies do to water. I forgot the actual study, but I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you say I love you to water or to a flower, to a plant, that flower will grow better. If you say I hate you, that flower will turn black and all this other stuff. If you neglect it, it will be very gray. And that's a proven science and study. So this water, this emotion and stuff like that is about nurturing. Now, when you put negative water emotions on things, it influences the outcome of what you have. So positivity goes a long way because you'll have better results. So work on positivity, being more positive, make it a habit, like to stop the actual positivity. Okay, another message from another person. You know, I'm always on Facebook, and if the messages are for you, I'll say it, right? She went on to describe the difference between saying I feel lonely, or like I'm just saying lonely, right? I feel lonely, or there is the energy of loneliness in my aura. Two completely different ways of acknowledging the presence of an energy. I am allows that door to go in your world of manifestation. When you say I am lonely, it opens that door, and anything in your manifestation that gets negatively affected by loneliness will now take a hurt. It'll be you know what I mean, right? So there is the energy of loneliness in my aura. It doesn't go to you, it stays there and gets like, it kind of just goes away. It's so weird. So whatever heavy energy that you're thinking of right now, find the word for it and say there is blank 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 in my energy, right? There's the energy of blank in my aura, and just stay quiet real quick. You'll actually feel it leave. And it was the craziest thing, and this happened like yesterday. And after that, I'm hooked. If that actually works, I'm hooked. I've been using it all day, and it actually works. So that's something for, I hope y'all see that video, because I don't know where to find that. But shout outs to her. So growth is in the place for transcendence. So a time of evolution and growth is here. You may be leaving behind, see that leaving behind word, and that's all in growth. Letting go, being able to achieve more, to hold more, right? You may be leaving behind outdated and antiquated relationships, mentors, belief systems, situations, or environments. If you are inquiring about a situation or relationship, this card calls for a deeper commitment or a decision to let go in order to honor your journey. Draw another card for clarity. This card represents knowing that all will be well and for the highest good. The highest good is basically like, what do I think the highest good is? What is the mission that God brought us here for? And we all are basically cogs in that wheel to get that mission done. And I believe that's the highest good. Your place in that formation or whatever to get that job done, that's the highest good. And lastly, what ends off the reading is transformation. And this has to do with your knowledge. I know what you know is going to be transformed because you desire it. And that's a welcoming energy. So let's get it. The butterfly goes through many. I mentioned a butterfly and then it came out. I said it don't have to be the butterfly. Yes, it has to be the butterfly. The butterfly goes through many stages before it becomes the beautiful creature it is. Honor your process and allow your beauty to be seen by all. Wear more color to help announce the arrival of your exquisite transformation. Meditate on this when you want to call in more beauty, grace, and acceptance during times of transition. This is another way you can basically cheat the system. Colors. Surrounding yourself by colors can influence you at the same time. They do research on what colors do to our psyche. Some colors make us hungry, some colors make us sleepy, some colors make us this and that, this, jolly. Why do you think Christmas and Halloween and all these other things are dressed with these types of colors? Because they get that influence from us. They not force us. It it influences that energy to come out of us. Meditate on this when you want to call in more beauty, grace, and acceptance during times of transition. So, grace is important because it's almost like that dignity in grace. Like you walk with a certain grace instead of walking shy and sneaking around. Grace is the energy to have because it's like appreciating the blessing that God gave you, the thing that you were asking for. So you have to walk with a sense of pride with it. Oh, this is what God gave me. I'm going to walk with this and I'm going to shout it out and I don't care. Because God had this conversation with me. I asked for what I can do and this was presented to me. So therefore, I don't care what nobody says. This is the energy that it's talking about. And you will be transformed. So, I hope that this message helped. This is what I'm here for. I am a reader for perspective. I am an alchemical reader. Basically, I do the alchemy. I look at the energies and I move them. So, if I was able to show you a different perspective, then we won. And with all that said and done, I hope you had a great time. Hope you enjoyed the reading. Like and share it with your favorite reader, with your friends, the whole spiritual community, anybody that would listen, because this is going to be an app for everybody. It's going to be an app for the readers. Imagine the readers in my position right now, because this is built for them. This is all training. Learn what you can, because it's going to transform. And with all that said and done, I'm KyFy. Peace.